welcome to a new episode. Today I kind of want to show you guys what you can actually find at places like Daikoku parking area. Now we're not at Daikoku parking area right now, we're actually at Tatsumi parking area on a very strange night, because usually they've been shutting down this parking area regularly every night for the last 4 or 5 years. And it's quite interesting that we find ourselves here, because I met a guy called Zumy Daikoku a couple of months back who drives that really sick JZA80 Supra, and I told him, like, when you have time, let me know, because I definitely want to feature your car in the video. It kind of represents what people really do with their cars here in Japan. And the best thing of all, he's like a really young kid, and you know, to see passion kind of progress into the next generation really fills me with joy. So I really want to highlight cars like this. And you know, this is literally like people you will see at Daikoku parking area if you come to Japan and visit. You know, they're there on a Friday, Saturday night. And today we have the car for a few hours, and we're gonna kind of dive in, see the work that has been done to it, how it's been modified, and what Zumy, the owner, has kind of like built it for. And we're just gonna have a bunch of fun, starting off here at Tatsumi parking area, and then we're gonna drive on the Wangan down to Yokohama and try to end up at Chinatown. It's a really cool place to go and shoot cars there, because it's really brightly lit, and it's kind of a very unique kind of look to Japan instead of the usual stuff we always do. So hopefully you'll love this video as much as the other ones, and let's get on with the job of kind of dissecting what's been done to this Supra. Okay, so just to break down what the project is all about, basically he wanted to create something that is kind of akin to a Wangan racer slash circuit car. He does race at Tsukuba quite a lot. He's actually thinking about entering the next Attack series next year. But yeah, let's take a look what this car is all about. So it's a complete Ridox kit. So all the carbon bits at the front kind of merging into those front canards here, and this side skirt treatment that kind of works its way up towards the front fender. This is all Ridox, right down to the over fenders at the back, which are actually screwed on, and then it's kind of ended and wrapped up at the very end with a TRD spoiler. What we have at the front is an aero hood to kind of get as much hot air out of the engine bay as possible, because this car actually pushes out 650 horsepower thanks to a fully built 2J with a single turbo. But we'll look at the engine later on. Let's keep looking at the details of the exterior. I think the coolest thing about this car is that Orido himself built it at his shop in Suzuki-ku, Yokohama. There's a 720 McLaren taking off. There's a bump now, you better slow down. So they've actually put like a big ramp there years back to kind of help slow people down. I remember seeing a video of an Aventador literally flying, not knowing that that was there. It kind of appeared overnight. But anyway, back to the Supra. As I was saying, Orido-san actually built this in his shop in Yokohama. So not only is it running the Ridox full aero kit, it's actually built by the man himself, and that really does make it 10 times cooler. It's a really serious car in that there's even no interior. There's just a race bucket seat for the driver, and the rest has been completely stripped out. I have to say, I really do like the white on white look here with the T37s against the white of the car. We have a very serious brake setup here. I'm not sure if you can actually see it, but these are actually monoblock calipers from Endless, 6 spots up front, running Yokohama S tires front and back. In the rear we have some Brembo 4-pots, and actually these are Shibata tires at the back. These are getting really popular in Japan. Shibata tire is actually made by Shibata-san, who is the owner of R31 House. And if you've been following me on Speed Hunters over the last few years, you would have known that R31 House literally is stockpiling probably Japan's complete collection of R31 Skylines of every possible generation and kind of guys. So that's definitely one shop I want to visit. But yeah, so years back he decided that he wanted to make cheap, affordable tires for drifters and for, you know, performance cars, and Shibata tires are really doing well in Japan as a kind of a cheaper, more affordable option. But you know, oh my god, look at the view that Tatsumi PA gives you. I've missed this place so much. I haven't been here since Larry and I shot our 234s here in January this year, which was a lucky kind of shot again, because we showed up, it was open, we filmed about 20 minutes and then they closed it down. So hopefully we can film a little bit longer today. But the views you get up here, we're probably like 15-20 meters up in the air on these high roads, and you get this kind of beautiful background of Tokyo, which has been hidden by these guardrails that they put up. This was their first initial take, kind of having people not stay here too long with their cars, but didn't really work. But yeah, back to the Supra. One cool detail here is the addition of the craft square carbon fiber mirrors, giving that kind of Super GT look to the outside. Love these things. Massive titanium exhaust coming out at a very aggressive angle here. So this is another really nice piece. This is a Powerhouse Amuse exhaust coming out at a very aggressive angle. And the cool thing about these, of course, is that because Powerhouse Amuse went under, these are super rare and very, very valuable. Okay, so what we are going to do now is actually head over to, well, that way really, Zaki parking area. It's a little bit of a quieter place and we can take a look at the engine and hopefully it's not closed. In the meantime, an old vintage Mustang is pulling in and I gotta hear this start up with the Amuse exhaust, because these things are probably the best sounding systems for a Supra. Oh yes, that sounds angry. That's the triple plate Exedi carbon clutch. I'll move to the very exit here of Tatsumi parking area so we can get hopefully a bit of cool sound happening as he shoots off. And that wheel spin even in second gear. So it's actually just stopped raining here in Tokyo. And we're actually lucky to be doing this photo shoot because we thought we had to cancel it. But all of a sudden it cleared up and it's drying, but still kind of wet. So we're gonna head over and meet the Supra at Hakozaki PA. So here we are at Hakozaki. We've arrived, but Zumy is still lapping around with the GoPro in the car. And unfortunately, they're closing it down, so we have to leave and we have to go meet somewhere else. The joys of the car hate that is really happening in Tokyo right now. It's absolutely amazing how it's just changed so much. Here they go again. Okay, so fast forward about 40 minutes, so we got kicked out of Hakozaki PA. He couldn't make it, so he ended up going way too far away, but we decided to come and meet here on the opposite side of the Rainbow Bridge. It looks like daytime, but it's actually yeah, 9:33 p.m. So we'll get a couple more shots of the car here before we head to Yokohama. Okay, so fast forward another half an hour and we actually made it down to Yokohama. We are just next to Pacifico, which is the big exhibition center in Yokohama where the Moon Eyes event is held every year. And it's perfect location for us to actually check out the car in detail. Okay, so here is the engine in all its glory. I just love the simplicity here. It's, you know, a pretty hardcore setup, but it hasn't been kind of taken over the top. So it still has a factory inlet manifold, connects up to the HKS piping, big intercooler up front. You can see through the gap here in the bumper. I do love this old school Greddy blow valve. Like, I've been seeing these pretty much since I started shooting here in Japan 20 plus years ago. Over on the hot side, we have the HKS T04Z, which sits on an HKS stainless steel manifold that feeds into the HKS front pipe and then onto the Amuse titanium exhaust. Okay, so at the heart of the engine is a little bit of an upgraded bottom end featuring HKS forged pistons, HKS conrods. The stock crank remains. Obviously 2J cranks are very strong, and that's mated to a reworked head with HKS cams. You can see the pulleys here through the little cutout in the cover. The engine runs on 680cc injectors from SART, all controlled by an FCON V-Pro from HKS. Okay, so let's take a look at the cabin. As I mentioned, there is only one seat, Recaro. So we can see the TRD dials. It's got a full TRD kit on the meter side of things. There's some Defi gauges on the A-pillar and some auxiliary ones here from Omori. And as I mentioned, there is nothing else in here. It's completely stripped out. There's half a roll cage that kind of loops around behind the bucket seat, and then you can see the strut brace on the rear turrets back there. And there is where Mr. Zumy keeps all his accessories, including a gigantic Nikon camera and an 85mm 1.2 lens. じゃあ、ズミさん、ちょっとだけ車、イントロデュースお願いします。
こんにちは、ズミです。この車、自分YSP とか YSP1 の影響とか受けて、スープラ買ったんですけど、オリドさんのスープラも見て、もうかっこいいなって思って、もともとナローボディのスープラ、白いスープラ、たまたま出てきて、エンジンもいじられてて、見た目もリドックス、顔はリドックスだった、もともとリドックスで、それで
だからフルリドックスでしょ？い
や、もともとナロー。
あ、もともとナロー。
もともとナローで、自分でワイド。
あ、自分
で買った後に、ワイドボディをオリドさんのところで組んでもらった感じです。で、
ワイドボディは全部リドックスでしょ？
リドックス。
でもボンネットとスポイラーだけリドックスじゃないでしょ？
ボンネットは高瀬スタウトのフードで、羽は TRD の本物のウィングになってます。
So this is let's take a look at it because I think it's possibly the best spoiler you can put on a 80 series Supra. Let's pop open the hood again so we can take another look at the engine and hear it. And Zumy can kind of run through the basic mods of the engine. ボンネット開けていいですか？That Ridox bumper is so cool. It just flows so well. 馬力はどのぐらいありますか？
馬力は650馬力ぐらいで、トルク73キロですね。俗に言うドッカンターボ。クラッチは何ですか？クラッチはエクセディのトリプルカーボン。
カーボン。トリプルカーボン。わ、すげえ。Triple plate carbon clutch. I guess you need it, and if you're wondering, it is from Excedi. So 630 horsepower, rear-wheel drive. On the drive here, we definitely saw a bit of wheel spin happening on second, third gear because it's still wet outside, but it sounds absolutely amazing. We're actually going to keep driving through Yokohama right now. We try to maybe hit up Chinatown, like I was mentioning before. It's a little bit late, the lights might be off. They kind of close down all the restaurants and kind of turn down all the lights, and it kind of gets boring, but we'll see what we can do in Yokohama and definitely get a little bit more driving shots of Zumy behind the wheel just to hear the 2J in action. We actually ended up stopping in front of Pacifico because as we came out, we noticed that the road in front was really photogenic. So Zumy is also shooting his own car with that massive Nikon setup he's got. Isn't it cool that you're literally meeting a car guy to shoot his car and he pulls out a camera and starts shooting it at the same time as you? And as you can see, we have the Yokohama Uenchi Minato Mirai right behind us, the Ferris wheel. It's been awesome spending a bit of time in one of the coolest Supras I've seen in a very long time. I just love the simplicity of the build, how functional it is, and just how beautiful it looks with the Ridox kit against those T37 wheels. Power is on check, braking's on check, suspension, everything is sorted for a ton of fun. And big thank you to the owner, Zumy. Arigatou gozaimasu. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check back soon for more.